All right, let's roll. The Twisted Tuesday has begun. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people, the busters, but everybody else in between. From Costa Rica to California, Weehawken and Winnipeg, let's roll. As we step up and in, it's Gravel Tuesday night. It's Feinberg's night tonight. So we know that Feinberg likes to move around a little bit. He's a mover and a shaker. We got a bunch of basketball going on. We'll get you the scores. We'll get caught up to date. Not really any late night action. I guess we could have some second half plays up on the board here this evening. Louisville and Michigan State coming down to the wire right now. Toronto Raptors are on the verge of losing. Tough, it was a tough spot for them tonight. I fell for it. They played the Golden State Warriors on Thursday. There's a lot of talk about that game. Yeah, it's hard to be up on 100% every night. Now, the Raptors could come back and win this game, but I don't think they're going to cover the number. It's 58-50 at the half right now for the Denver Nuggets. LA Lakers only 50 points in the first half. Second half number of this game right now. Denver Nuggets plus 1.5, 107.5. It should get there. I thought this would be a higher scoring game. You got to believe the Lakers are going to score more than 100 points in this game. Although our boy Kyle just sent a real interesting piece here that I didn't get a chance to read yet because he just sent it, but about how late night Twitter sessions are bad for NBA shooting percentages. It's very interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Got to love this new Stony Brook College actually did a study. I like it. Sleep deprivation. I tell you guys, I've told you a million times. I told you about like the military did a test. They did war games, sleep deprived troops against drunk troops, and the drunk guys won. You were better off being drunk than tired. And you know what? Being tired can affect your handicapping as well. Something that's not discussed, actually. What's up, Daniel Natal? Jerry T, Vegas Gun, Ty Rich, Prophets Light, Stooge, Kyle Johnson. That's the thing, too. That's real. We don't talk about that. It's often talked about, physical conditioning in sports, but I'm not a poker guy, I'm not a poker guy. But I was on a show. I was on a Scotty Farrell show, and Phil Hellmuth was on. And Phil Hellmuth was talking about how he's evolved his poker game over the years. And he said that a couple of years ago I hit the wall. And he said that playing all these years, getting older and stuff, that he used to get tired at the table. And he'd fight through it and stuff, and he was tired. He said he was always tired, and he'd fight through it. So he basically stated that he started to lose. He realized he wasn't winning. And he realized there that he wasn't thinking clearly because he wasn't prepared enough. Like he was too tired all the time. So he was basically stating that like he's, now he's like a sleep freak and shit. So he's focused when he plays. And he even said like he'll leave his chips on the table and stuff and go to the room for an hour and sleep or whatever. I noticed this with gambling as well. I've been pretty tired for the last couple of years myself, and you lose focus, man. You think you're in the now and shit, but like if you're really, 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 really tired, like all the time, and then like I'm talking like you never sleep and stuff, you go through like, I've gone through phases where where I can't talk like now. But I've gone through phases where, like, I don't, you don't really remember doing things even. It's like you're drunk, but you're not. You're sober. You're not drunk, but it's like you're doing drunk things. You go into a store, buy something, leave it on the counter. Like, I'm not really sure what happened to my guitar, to be honest with you. Like, it's one of these deals. I'm still like perplexed by it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to think that I put it down somewhere, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I've done weird things. I do weird things sometimes. So, who knows? Yeah, good. What's up, Cal? Thanks for the link there. I'll talk about that in the morning, actually. 37,000 tweets. Hello, predictions guy. Yeah, I missed that today, Dan. I didn't see the big Major League Baseball announcement. What was their big announcement, anyways? What? MGM? DraftKings? FanDuel? Like what? MGM. There we go. Shocking. Wow. What you know what I mean? They really, like, we saw this coming. So MGM is pretty much stepping in and becoming the mainstream. Man, I don't have my ad blocker set up right now because I reset everything. Fuck, it's annoying. All right. We were pleased to partner with MGM Resorts International, a care industry leader, blah, 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 blah. Combining MGM Resorts' world-class entertainment and technology with Major League Baseball data will continue to transform a rapidly changing industry. You know what? We gamble without your data, you fucking dickheads. I'm not looking at your data right now, right? I got money on this Duke Indiana game. I don't care about your data. I don't need your data. I see the score. It's 29-16. There's your data. Oh, our data. The leagues keep saying that. Like, oh, well, without our scores, we know your score. I don't know how to break this to you, but you know what I mean? Like, we see what the score is. We kind of know, like, I don't really have to give you $350 million to know that it's 31-16. I don't really understand their little data shit. That's the NFL's like selling point. You need our data. It's like, what data? I don't know what you're talking about with your data. You have no integrity and there's no data. Like, I don't know. You want data? Go subscribe to playbook.com. Mark Lawrence, he's got a data. He's got a database. All right. So what is Major League Baseball getting out of the deal? So what? They had a big fucking announcement today and they don't even tell you how much money? At least NBA was like, yeah, we got $350 million out of this. So I'm reading. What is Major League Baseball get out of the deal? Financial terms were not disclosed, although report Forbes says the deal is substantial. Probably like, $300 to $500 million. Major League Baseball took our line against casino years, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now Major League gets a cut of the gambling money. No, they don't. Like, people like are so stupid. They don't understand how these deals work. Like Major League Baseball is not getting a cut. You think You think they're an affiliate? They get a cut out of everyone that bets now? No, it's a sponsorship deal. It's not rocket science, guys. It's like, so what? So MGM is a sponsor of baseball now. According to the press release, MGM will domestically promote its brand gaming operations. You know what it does? It allows MGM to use Major League Baseball logos. Right? So now, and it does help that. So it really does. It legitimizes you. So you know how, like, you can't say, like, oh, Super Bowl or whatever? Like, these people can now. No, you're not for NHL, but like for Major League Baseball. And here it says, MGM will have a presence at Major League Baseball's major events, such as the All-Star Game and World Series. So, but now MGM can have a World Series themed party with logos and, sponsor, announce it. You know what I mean? It's not like, in Vegas, you go to the Super Bowl, it's like the big game. They give you a t-shirt. Hey, I'm at the big game. Yeah, so what are the stories? Well, what are the players? What are the casino? What do Major League Baseball players get out of this? Major League Baseball Union says that they need an integrity fee. The players want 1.5%. Good luck with that, fucking cocksuckers. Yeah, what are fans getting out of the deal? Nothing. At this point, nothing changes for fans aside from seeing MLB and MGM cross-promoting each other. Whoa, with DA, great. You know what I mean? Like, where's like, yeah, every fan, every season ticket holder gets a $50 fucking bet at MGM. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's like when UFC did the deal with ESPN recently, and Dana White said, "Oh, this deal is great for us, and it's great for ESPN." He didn't say, "Oh, it's great for the viewers." Like he didn't even lie. I respect Dana's honesty actually with that. He didn't say, "Oh, it's great for the viewers, it's great for everybody." He said, "No." He said, "Oh, it's great for us, it's great for ESPN." Stop. Full stop. You know what I mean? I got to be honest with you, in my own personal opinion, I think MGM is wasting their money. If I was like on the MGM board, shareholder, etc., like, what do you throw? What did you give the NBA $350 million for? What are you getting out of this? More people aren't going to bet at your casino because of that. You know what I mean? People bet on whatever sportsbook they like. They're not going to bet because, there's like, the Brooklyn Nets are sponsored by MGM. I'm going to bet at MGM. Like, it doesn't, it's pointless. You're essentially paying $300 million to use their logo. And it's also, this is another thing too. It's an industry that people are going to fucking play anyways. Like, you don't need to advertise crack cocaine on TV or the radio or on billboards. People will do crack cocaine. You know what I mean? So I shouldn't say this as someone in this industry, as someone that's saying this on Sportsbook Review right now, but I get the advertising part. You want people to know about your book, but spending like hundreds of millions of dollars and shit like that is ridiculous. Like, look, I see in New Jersey, man, like fucking DraftKings have like these billboards and shit, like overlooking a fucking turnpike that it's like facing the wrong direction. It's like 13 people see that, guys. You're paying like $13,000 a month for that. You know what I mean? Like the overall marketing, there's a lot of mistakes that are going on right now in the gaming industry. So ultimately, Major League Baseball, all right, so Feinberg's going to join us in a minute. So what's the deal with this Sonny Vega 14 hours and shit? I don't know. So you tweet a lot, Sonny, so I can't really tell like what's real or what's not with you sometimes. So what happened? You get kicked out of a fucking get kicked out of a Keg Steakhouse tonight? Well, is it a traffic situation? You're a good guy, Sonny. What could you have done wrong? What could you have done wrong tonight? Like, what happened? For what? For the record, it's hard to get arrested in Toronto too. Like what? Like it's hard to get arrested in Toronto. Like that's quite an accomplishment. Like I said, like they don't even like getting out of their car. Like so, right, what happened? It's taking. Come on, what happened, bro? It's taking a long time here. Legal advisor not to discuss. Well, not to discuss. Why are you on Twitter talking about it then? Yeah, I got to be honest. If I got arrested yesterday, I probably wouldn't be on Twitter talking about it in the first place, Sonny. You can't go on Twitter and say you got arrested and then say, yeah, if it's a sensitive situation, you don't have to give us all the details, but like I don't know, like you're the one, Sonny, like you're the one that went on Twitter to talk about it. Yeah, like Haynes says, like you're like yeah, like I told people are like, what happened to you? Okay. I tell you, cars are always the worst. Yeah, we hope you're all right. My advice to you, Sonny, I think you gotta take it easy. That's my advice to you. I'd be saying take it easy for a little while, Sonny. All right, so we'll keep our eye. Yeah, I can't be that serious if you're here right now. That's good. All right, so let's bring Jeff Feinberg in. Coach Feinberg. He looks like a coach tonight.
What's up, Gabe?
Let's bring in Jeff Feinberg. Out of Providence Cigarettes.
What's up, Gabe?
What's up, Feinberg?
Same shit, different day.
Yeah, you're not feeling it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, November sucks. What do you want?
Yeah, fair enough. Almost over.
Something bad stuff always happens in November, dude.
Really? I hope not.
Yeah, you don't see. I'll be honest. You don't seem to be too upset and torn about Melvin Gordon's injury.
No, I don't. It's a couple weeks. I think there's probably a 90% probability we're going to be the 5 seed in the AFC. So, just get healthy and get back and be fresh. Like, I don't know that it's really going to. I mean, he's great, but I don't know. I don't know that in the end it's going to be enough to sort of change where we are in the playoff picture.
That's fair.
So, maybe get him a month off, or not a month, but 2-3 weeks off, and get him, fresh and ready to go for when it's really gonna count, maybe.
All right. So I was just talking about this MGM deal with Major League Baseball. I said these casinos are wasting their money. Like MGM signing a deal with Major League Baseball. What does this do for you? Like, does it?
No, I don't really understand.
Does it make you say, "Oh, I'm going to go bet at MGM now"? Like, what does it do for like you? Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. To my understanding, a lot of these deals that have been signed, Gabe, they have these. It's not like the other places can't get information. They're just exclusive. They're not exclusive deals. They're just, I don't know. It just seems like they're.
If they were smart, actually, one of these leagues really would cut a deal with a book and basically tell them, listen, you guys can, we're going to advertise on our games for you. We're going to push the hell out of you, but we get fucking 20% of every fucking bet that comes in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah.
Then I can see it. Like, imagine like if they were kicked back and they were raking it in and they were getting a cut of every bet that was made. All right. But just throwing like $300 million at this, it's too much money for what like it, people, like I said earlier, like, crack dealers don't need advertisements and billboards, right? People will smoke crack. It's like people will, they don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. It's kind of a weird deal, but I get it. MGM's trying to keep other people out, and down the road, it's pretty much it's a power play for the future. Actually, what MGM is doing, where MGM is pretty much right. They got the NBA, they got Major League Baseball now, so NFL will be the next one when the NFL comes around on this stuff. FanDuel hooked up with the NHL already, so but eventually. there will be kiosks in arenas and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the laws are changing. Like, look, Gary Bettman before was the one that blocks legal sports betting in Canada. He's the one that like got, he got Jacques Demers, who was the senator, to fucking block it. And because he was, he was so anti this and he threatened Canada with that, this and that. He's gone full circle on this, where now he's pushing Trudeau to actually legalize sports betting. Or sports betting is already legal in Canada, but you know what I mean? Like single game wagering and sort of more sponsorships, because Batman's come around on this and sees the revenue now. So it's come full circle. And FanDuel here in New York, Jeff, in the New Jersey Devil games, it's kind of so stupid. They opened up like a Sportsbook lounge in the arena, which is pretty cool. So it's a FanDuel like mini Sportsbook, except you can't bet there. Except you can, because they're going to have iPads there at couches, and they're going to have hostesses to walk you through it.
Okay.
So you can bet on an app, but they can't just make it a sports book or put a kiosk in there, because in the state of New Jersey, you can only put sports betting where there was already gambling, i.e. a racetrack or a casino, and the Prudential Center is an arena. And basically, they're going to change this law, dude. You know what I mean? It might take a year. It might take 2 years. Bettman's already on it. FanDuel's already on it.
Yeah.
The state of New Jersey is going to say, yeah, whatever. Put kiosk in there. You know what I mean? Like there's too much money at stake. Jersey's already in. They're not going to block it. So that's sort of the future. Like sort of like England. You know what I mean? You get a beer, you place your bet, you go back to your seat.
Yeah.
Rhode Island today legalized sports gambling yesterday. And, it doesn't make me want to go to Rhode Island, but at least if you're ever in Rhode Island, you can place a bet. If you got to spend a day in Rhode Island.
I don't plan on it, but I do agree with your point. I don't think these sorts of deals really make them new customers. I think the people that want to gamble will gamble, and they'll know how to find it, sort of like the drug dealers you were referencing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting time now how this shit's changed, eh? Like, if you think back to like when we were on the Score years ago, the Score was like the only network that had point spreads on the screen.
Yeah.
And it was like a sticking point. Like if you remember, like the Score didn't have the rights to things. You know what I mean? They had the court surfing, and they had a few things, but they started to come along. And then in our era, when we were there. First night college football, we had the NCAA. The NCAA.
Yeah, but they'd always let that fucking game air on fucking the Rogers package, also. And you would always
like I'm a manager or something. They care.
Every time fucking Levy would walk by the news pit, you'd fucking get angry about it, and you'd tell him, and like you'd think that these people would care or should care.
I tell him, you're paying for the rights for this, John. You might as well, exactly. Like I used to tell him, I said, Rogers blocks you.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Like it would fall on deaf ears. I know. And I was the bad guy somehow. But so my point is, though, I remember when they got like the NBA, because they never told me once to chill out about anything. And the only thing they ever told me was Levy told me to chill about the Leafs once. He said, I'm trying to get the rights to the Leafs, and they fucking hate you because you fucking rip them all the time. And he goes, I'm not telling you to stop, but he goes, just, rip other people, fuck, for a while. He said, just rip someone else beside them, fuck,
Yeah.
So, but my whole point is, I know, like, when we got the NBA rights at the time, it was sort of Stern didn't like it. Stern was like, wow, you got point spreads and shit. And the NCAA was sort of off-put about it at first. And they sort of came around. And it's just funny now that it's come full circle where
everyone does it.
ESPN, CBS, everybody has picks. They'll sell picks. CBS Sports Line sells picks. Fuck. Like, it's crazy how it's come full circle. Fuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even peaked yet. It hasn't peaked yet. Like the sports game, I don't even know where it's going to go. I mean, I don't know. It's just going to continue to grow, though. I mean, we'll just see it continue to grow. So speaking of which, I didn't watch one hole or one shot of that Tiger Phil thing, but I did win on it. I took Phil Mickelson and I won. Just because of the odds. I blindly bet Phil because of the odds. And I also thought that Phil's the type of guy that would try and he would sort of deep down inside care more. Like, yeah, and he would care more just about, number one, beating Tiger, like, because he's just that type of guy. And number two, he would way care more about the $9 million. Like, I think Phil looked at it like a fucking major, dude, going into that.
Yeah, me and Mayo did a little piece on it, and we're both Tiger fanboys, but we both picked Phil because of kind of what you just said. But to make it easy, in fantasy DFS terms, in GPPs, I'd be all about Tigers, but in cash games, Phil every fucking time.
Yeah. Well, Phil. It's Phil's thing. Now, the whole thing was a train wreck. I watched
the first 9-10 holes with a buddy, and then went to my parents' house for dinner on a Friday, and kind of just followed it on my phone.
It's a good point what Nolly's saying. Phil's a gambler, right? He's a real gambler. So he was
neither of them played very well, but
holy fuck, I didn't realize this. The Raptors came all the way back and smashed them and won by 8. Wow.
I saw they came back. I don't know if they covered.
They covered. Man, these guys are just unbelievable.
Yeah, Klay Thompson says they'll play the Warriors in the finals.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. Yeah, how about that? Huh? Yeah, I gotta get into that. So even Cam's fired up. He wants to go to that game. Klay Thompson would be a good Raptor, actually.
Which game are you talking about?
The Raptors play the Warriors on Thursday night.
Oh.
In Toronto.
Oh. Yeah.
That's why he's that's why Klay Thompson was talking about the Raptors.
Did not know.
Yeah, here's the clip here.
Yeah, Clay, what do you make of this Toronto team, and with just all the shuffling in the East? Where do you see them kind of in the mix?
Right now, they're the best, and I expect them to be there for probably throughout the whole season. They got tremendous length. They got so many two-way players, and obviously Kawhi's back and playing at MVP level. Kyle Lowry's a great leader as well as he's a bulldog out there, so it's going to be a great test for us. Who knows, might be a preview of June, but they got something really special up there in Canada right now.
Pretty strong word from them. They're the best team in the league. They got something real special going up there in Canada right now, and this could be a preview of what happens in June. Like people are taking the Raptors seriously, dude. Like the Raptors are making the league take fucking notice of them.
Yeah, and LeBron's not there anymore, so you do take him seriously. Yeah, but there's kind of just not like LeBron will just be in the finals, whoever he's got in the East, like that's over with because he's at West, and it's got to be somebody. So people,
hey, that's sports, dude. He terrorized us for fucking 8 years, bro.
Yep.
Like, he was in our way for 8 years. It's sort of like Tom Brady. Like eventually, Tom Brady's going to be gone. You know what I mean? And that day's coming soon. Like, you know what I mean? It's sooner rather than later. Like that's like the reign of terror is nearly over. It's too bad for you. Like, Phil Rivers is going to be gone around the same time. Like, I got high hopes. I'm like, hey, Josh Allen actually looks pretty good suddenly. I'm like, wow. Thinking, and then, I don't know, because I've been very negative on the Bills this year. I'm like, fuck that. Like, dude, they played. I'm 11 minutes away. From the stadium. I didn't go. It was the week after they fucking got blown out by someone. And I was like, screw that, man. I'm not like
the Bears, I think.
Yeah. I'm not exactly. I'm not wasting 2 fucking seconds of my life on these fucking pricks. So, but Josh Allen coming back and doing that against Jacksonville.
If he made a throw, I swear to God, there's 3 guys in the league that make that fucking throw.
I'm not even sure.
Maybe not even.
I'm not even sure if there's 3 guys in there.
Yeah, maybe not. That was a throw. I don't.
77 year, but you see how he just flicked it? Like he didn't even line up. He just flicked it like in a thing. Like
guys draped on him. Guys draped all over him. He still gets his rocket off. I don't know.
Dude. You see that he runs over people. You know what I like about him, what I'm seeing here is it's all about, can you mentally play? Are you mentally tough enough? And he is. That's what you can tell. You know, you can tell he embraces the NFL. He's not intimidated physically because he's a big kid. He's confident. He's got that arm. No, they're going to have to get him some weapons, though, next year. I mean, that's the – fuck, man, this stupid fuck off. They're going to have to get him some weapons.
Yeah, big time.
Like, the wide receivers are just subpar, right? I mean, I know it's a nice play these kids made, but, you know.
Yeah. No, they got to get more than a couple.
All right. So
you look at the teams that are good, Gabe. I mean, they're like 4 or 5 weapons deep.
Yeah.
The good teams, you know, the Steelers, the Chiefs, you know, and the Chargers are out there running healthy. There's 4 or 5 guys that you're happy to see get the ball on any fucking play.
So your boys are the Sunday nighter this week.
Oh, Gabe, it feels nice. We didn't get a single night game on the schedule, and we got flexed into this one. So this feels, you know, I don't think we've been broadcasted by an A-team crew of any network yet this year. So I'm pretty excited. I'm annoyed Pittsburgh lost because it seemed like they've been trying to lose for a couple weeks, but still winning. So they had that, like, they're so due to lose a game. And I don't know, Roethlisberger, for all his greatness, can make, you know, some real dumb plays. But, yeah, I'm hyped. Gordon, no Gordon. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. You know, you just look at, like, how dominant the Rams and Chiefs were. The running backs weren't really even involved in that game. I just want to, like, come out there and just upchuck it the whole way. The whole way.
Ben Roethlisberger today, earlier in the day, on a radio show, on his own radio show, you know, was going back to his old Ben Roethlisberger ways, basically calling out James Washington for not catching that ball because he left his feet. He could have just, you know, caught it. He dropped it. Ben's like, oh, that you know, made a difference in the game, etc. I mean, yeah, you know what else made a difference in the game? The fucking interception you threw, Ben, late in the game. That made a big difference in the game. He's thrown 12 interceptions this year, and like he's been a disappointment this year. He needs to have more confidence. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up. And he even said in the interview, he goes, the coaches got on him pretty good yesterday in the meeting after about this. So if the coaches got into him yesterday privately, why are you going on your radio show and making life harder? Like, Ben Roethlisberger is not a leader. He's a dickhead. And this is why the Steelers, for as good as they are, it's always a drama and it's always a circus and there's always cliques and it's always sort of fractured because of Ben Roethlisberger and shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, he sees an easy target, so he picks on the rookie kid. Dude, like, James Washington's the fault they lost that game, right?
He's always been, yeah, you said he always kind of.
James Washington's fault. The kid was targeted. Yeah, he dropped the pass. All right. Like, you know what I mean? He dropped it. Fuck, you know? But yeah, it's his fault. And then you got to go on and say how he's been a disappointment this year. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you're not the GM, man. You know what I mean? You're like, you know, he ran his mouth about the fucking Le'Veon Bell shit. He's just an asshole, bro.
Gabe, have you ever seen a fucking player in the NFL publicly act like such a bitch when their team drafted, like, what was it, a 3rd or 4th round fucking QB?
No, I know.
In your life,
Rudolph was drafted to be a backup to replace Landry Jones, and look how he acted. Fuck.
Like in your life, have you? I mean, not like not a 1st round pick, not a 2nd round pick. Like, I'd never seen that before.
Not to mention, bro, if you remember, the same guy that the last 2-3 years after the year-over-year, I don't know how much longer I can play. I don't know. Kind of worn out, my knees. The guy threatens retirement every year. They draft a quarterback in the 4th or 5th round, and he acts like you stated, like a husband's getting cheated on or something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That being said, they're really good. And hopefully the Chargers can make a couple big plays, specifically on the defensive side of the ball.
It's a bad spot for you guys. Like, it sets up well for Pitt. These are the games that Pittsburgh win. You know what I mean? Like when they beat up on Carolina in a spot like this on TV.
Yeah, and then they haven't covered since.
Yeah.
And now they'll kick our ass. I know. That wouldn't shock me. What I saw, 3.5. That's the number that I've seen. So I don't know.
Now we should know James Washington has struggled this year. I'm not stating he hasn't, but you're real leaders. If you're Roethlisberger, you're a big vet. You're a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Like, there's no what's the point of mocking this kid on your radio show? You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady wouldn't do that. Russell Wilson wouldn't do that, right? Like he's just a jerk. He's always been a jerk. Yeah, he's always been a jerk. And it is who he is. He can't help it. After the whole bathroom thing, he tried to change a bit because none of his teammates really like him, right? So they tolerate him, but no one's ever really liked him all that much. And he went out of his way the last couple of years, but it's phony where, I thank the line. I got to thank my line. He's always he goes out of his way, but it comes across as fake. And everyone knows it's fake. So they sort of look at him as like a phony type of guy. And I've told a story for you. Peter King, the great NFL writer. Peter King did a piece, and he invited all these great quarterbacks. You either had to be a Hall of Famer or a Super Bowl winner type thing. So it's like, Joe Montana, fucking Terry Bradshaw, Jim Kelly, Dan Marino. It was like a who's who. It was like, like 12 to 14, a bunch of them were in like this room and sort of hanging out and shit. And Peter King said that he couldn't shut them up, basically. He was like, guys, hold on. And, like Joe Montana was telling stories and they were cracking jokes about Super Bowls they won and lost against each other and shit. And he said the whole time Ben Roethlisberger was staring at his phone and he looked up a couple of times and he said, are we nearly done?
Yeah. I believe that.
Didn't talk to Joe Namath, didn't talk to anybody, didn't care. You know what I mean? Just, are we nearly done here? Like, I got a chick I got to go grow. Fuck. Like, he's just an aloof dick. He just is. He's a good quarterback, but he's erratic, bro. He throws a lot of interceptions, like 12 picks this year. He throws interceptions late. I don't fear the Steelers in the playoffs. I really don't. Like, I've seen this script too many times for them. Like you said, they're good. Schuster's good. Brown's good. They can't beat the Patriots in the playoffs. They'll be in it with everyone else. They could beat the Chiefs. They could lose to the Chiefs. They could beat the Chargers. They could lose to the Chargers. Like the Steelers could beat anybody, but they could lose to anybody. I don't see the Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think they have the games in a row that it would take. Seems like, especially in the AFC, but I guess also in the NFC.
Yeah, like Big Merc says, Ben's a gentleman. He walks women to their hotel rooms. Yeah, I still don't know. That's still the most strange thing ever. Where, I don't know if you know, Jeff, that Stormy Daniels, Ben Roethlisberger escorted Stormy Daniels to her room after the little thing with Trump. It's like, why was he there? Like, why was he, he was supposedly just coincidentally in the hallway? I'm telling you, there's something there. Like, I guarantee you Ben Roethlisberger has 20 stories, guys, that we don't know about. You know what I mean? In my opinion, for legal purpose, I'll say in my opinion, but I bet you there's all kinds of shit. Hush money here. Crazy story there that's covered up. Look, I know my boy in Pittsburgh was a cop, and he told me, he goes, he's not a good guy. And basically that it's sort of known, fuck. Like, if you're a chick, fuck, don't stand too close to him. You know what I mean? He basically has a sense of entitlement. He thinks that everyone wants to do him and shit, and that he's Ben Roethlisberger and shit.
Good place to be. He does give zero fucks. You're right. A lot of things fester in that locker room because he's not a leader like a lot of other players in his position would.
Yeah, whatever. He'll be like everybody else. When he's retired, he'll want a TV gig, or you know what I mean? sort of like the guys like that hate everything and then they want the love after. You see it time and time again.
Yeah.
And, Jack, I don't look like Jack Morris isn't really like that. Like they said, Jack Morris didn't like the media and stuff, but Jack Morris, basically wasn't an asshole to everybody in the room. Like Ben's just an asshole. Yeah. It's one thing to be a dick to the media only, right? It's like, yeah, whatever. The guy's a jerk to the media, but he's actually cool in the room. But like I said, I don't think people like Ben Roethlisberger in the Steeler room all that much. Yeah, I got to lean with the Steelers here, though. I think, you guys are the king of the teaser, fuck. So looks like a Charger teaser to me. Chargers got the plus 10.5. That's
not a bad idea. I'm probably going to have a lot of those, Gabe. Going to have a lot of like 6.5, 7-point teasers to get them to 10 or over.
I'm not so sure the Miami Dolphins should be 5-point favorites over the Bills.
No, I like the Bills. I like both the Bills and the Browns this week. I'm going to be playing on both those teams a lot down the stretch. They both seem really energized and they're playing for something.
So Baker Mayfield's really causing quite the stir. As Stephen A. Smith and Will Kane really went at it today for real. Like it got personal.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a lot of that.
Me and Corey Parson had the same thing and said it wasn't quite as personal. And Corey basically called me like an old, angry fucking get off my lawn guy. Because I was like, Baker Mayfield's a punk. He hasn't earned anything. You should shut the hell up. And Corey loves it. And, no, he didn't do it. And so it's funny, the emotion. And I give the kid credit, though, with Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's definitely polarizing, right? Like, you just say his name, man, and people are like, oh, he's great, or fuck, I hate that kid. Like, so it's funny. I brought up the bandana. I know it's weak, but I just stated I don't like his bandana. I think he looks like a goofball, and I think he's an arrogant fucking kid. I'm not a fan of him. He is good, though. So it's funny. Cam was on my side about that bandana and shit, but I think that the kid is just, he talks too much for somebody that's won 2 games in the NFL. Yeah, I get it. You've thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Like, dude, like he talks like more than anyone in the league, basically. Like, who talks more than him? He talks more than Jalen Ramsey does. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, but hey, people embrace it. It's all good. It is who he is. I think his teammates love him and shit, and he's got that F the world mentality. So, God bless him. I know it is what it is for him, but I don't have to like him.
Yeah, I don't know, but isn't a lot of like the heat more of like this thing with Hugh Jackson than anything else, and people thinking.
So what's his beef with Hugh Jackson? That he got 4th overall,
first overall. But I don't know. I think he thinks Hugh lied to him about some things, maybe, which I think is at the root of it. But I don't know.
You notice Baker Mayfield seems to think he was wronged everywhere all the time.
Yeah, but that chip on his shoulder seems to be carrying him. Having no scholarships, being a walk-on.
Whatever. He didn't win the job. He came on. He went on to be good after. He didn't win the job. Like, you know what I mean? This, like, they screwed him thing. He's the one that left. They didn't win. They didn't give him a scholarship. He didn't win the job. You know what I mean? It's cold world. Fuck. Like, and it motivated him. He went on to Oklahoma and he played great. So I don't really know like what the deal is. Like like I said, he's just, I'm surprised he didn't rip Bob Stoops, fuck, when it was all said and done after. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh, Gabe, though. Let's just already Gabe. I mean, you are right, he's polarizing. But let's just right now, like, take a guess. Next year, what, the Browns are gonna have 4 fucking primetime games?
Oh yeah.
Because the net, like, everyone just, it's just a thing. Right? Like 4, like a couple Sunday night or a couple Mondays and their Thursday, like on the schedule release, like they're gonna be a hot team to watch, and who knows what coach they'll get, but yeah.
You know who they keep your eye on for a coach there? Matt Campbell.
Okay.
Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell was the coach of the Toledo Rockets. He was the youngest coach in the NCAA. He might have been the youngest coach in NCAA history, actually.
Is that where he's been now, or that's where he was a couple years ago?
No, he went to Iowa State.
Oh. Is that the yeah? Oh, that guy looks like Gary Delabate to me.
Yeah. And now,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
only
know
like
exactly who that is.
Still, he's pretty young still. He'd be the youngest coach in the NFL too. He's fucking young, but he went to Iowa State, and he's done a great job with the Cyclones. And he's from Cleveland, so he's from the area, essentially. I don't know, a suburb, or maybe he's from Toledo, whatever. He's from the area. He grew up a Browns fan, and there's a serious conversation going on supposedly about this, about them, sort of looking at it like a Brad Stevens hire. You know what I mean? Listen, the Browns have tried everything. They have gone through the old boy network, haven't they? I don't really have a problem with them going to college route. And I don't think you go Lincoln Riley though, solely because he was Baker Mayfield's coach. You see Baker Mayfield's doing well with Greg Williams as the coach. Greg Williams is a defensive guy that wants to kill you. So you don't need to bring in somebody to make Baker Mayfield better. He's already good, right? You bring in an offensive-minded guy, obviously, but you don't need to we're going to take a chance in Lincoln Riley coaching the NFL because, Matt Campbell's sort of shown it. Now, it's a bold move, man. It's a risk. You hire Matt Campbell, a lot of people are going to go, who? What? Really? But I don't have a problem with it. And the Cleveland Browns have so many young guys, so many college guys on the team. Matt Campbell will relate to them. He's 33. He's going to totally relate, right? He'll be able to communicate with them well. And I think it's not a bad hire, but it's almost too smart of Cleveland to do something like this. But it's out there right now. It's being talked about in Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think there's a couple interesting jobs. I think the Jet job is going to be a good job as well. So curious to see how all that plays out. But I think there's also going to be less firings than normal, Gabe, because a lot of the teams that are doing horribly at the very bottom, like San Francisco seems circumstantial. The Raiders, there's no way they're firing their coach. The Giants, there's no way they're firing Shermer. You just go through a lot of the teams.
There will be some jobs, though.
Yeah, I just think it'll be much smaller than normal. I mean, there are jobs. Of course, there'll be jobs.
You know what? I think there's actually going to be a bit. I think there'll be some movement. I think there'll be some movement. You're right, though. There's a lot of new coaches that,
No, I just think if you look at the teams with the worst record,
the Jets are going to fire their coach.
Yes,
the Jets job will be available, and it's a big market.
And the Packer job,
could get Le'Veon Bell. You know what I mean? You got money. Could get Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I've seen some stories that Jim Harbaugh to the Jets.
I'd say more John. Jim ain't leaving Michigan, bro. I don't you bring up Harbaugh leaving Michigan every week. He's not going to the NFL. And I don't think the NFL is lining up after he gave up 62 points last week. Harbaugh's overrated, man. It's just
and I guess
you know why you see that, dude? Because it's easy. Because Matt Campbell, that's not an easy story.
Yeah, right? and I'll be honest, Gabe. If my team hired senior Harbaugh right now, I'd be a little demoralized because it kind of just feels like an old name. When I would rather, like a Matt Campbell, I would rather just try to be the next Sean McVay than just one of these fucking guys that doesn't play the way football I think needs to be played right
now. So John Harbaugh is the one. Right, so John Harbaugh, and we'll see what happens with Lamar Jackson there. But supposedly Harbaugh is going anyway. So the Jets will be available. That job's going to be available. I would imagine. The Baltimore job's going to be available probably.
Packer job.
Cincinnati will be available. I think this is it for Marvin Lewis. Although they're hard to predict. They're very similar to Cleveland was, right? They might become the new Cleveland, the Bengals, I don't know if they're owners. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. The Brown guy might be dead up there in the press box for all we know. They don't do anything, right? They don't, they're just stagnant. So I imagine he's on the way out. Marone could be on the way out in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I don't think he will be, but he very well might be. Nobody's getting canned in the West. Vance Joseph, I think, is doing enough to survive right now. Garrett has saved his job, which is, if you're a Cowboy fan, it's not good because he's not going to get fired. And it doesn't matter. Whoever wins this division is going to get fucking bounced in the playoffs anyways. If the playoffs started today, Minnesota would be at Dallas. Minnesota would beat Dallas. And there's your season. Fuck. McCarthy, you mentioned McCarthy, could get fired. I don't think he will.
Yeah, he will.
You think he will?
Yeah, for sure. Gabe, who have they beaten this year? Okay, that insane comeback week 1 against the Bears, a close Monday nighter against CJ Beathard, the Buffalo Bills, and the Brock Osweiler-led Dolphins.
Yeah,
that's who they've beaten.
So do you attach any of this to number 12, their quarterback?
Okay, well, I've been one of those people who have
in other words, those are the only teams Aaron Rodgers has beaten this year.
Yes. And I've long banged the drum that I know Ted Thompson isn't there anymore, but in this Rodgers era, it's embarrassing how little they've done to go above and beyond to try to capitalize on that talent. And then, it was easy to blame McCarthy for a lot of things. But yes, it's at the point where I don't think it's equal, but you see it all over the mainstream media since Sunday night. Rodgers is now taking some or more than more blame than he's ever taken before. And he has to deserve some of it.
Minimal.
He has to take some blame. He's 1-9 on the road in his last 10 road games.
He's 0-6. He's also like 0-37 when trailing in the fourth quarter against a winning team.
And I'll tell you
this.
Mike
McCarthy? Is it all like Mike McCarthy, or is it like Aaron Rodgers deserves the blame for this too? Like, he wants to get the credit when they win, and he does. But it's like Aaron Rodgers is untouchable. Listen, Mike McCarthy's time is running out there. And the writing was on the wall in the offseason.
Well, I say McCarthy's gone because they seem to not be getting along.
Yeah, but I was going to say that. I don't know why McCarthy did this. I don't know why McCarthy went out of his way to piss Aaron Rodgers off in the offseason. Like, why did they fire his quarterback coach without telling him?
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
and Rodgers
let Jordy Nelson go without telling him. Like, he found out on Twitter, essentially.
Yeah, and Gabe, to me, Aaron Rodgers is one of these guys that takes shit very personally.
He's a petty
me. Man, yes. Gabe, to me, he's at home right now reading fucking articles about him, good and bad, and he's remembering everything bad being said about him. Like, and I'm not even saying this is like the greatest thing or the bad. I mean, he's an amazing quarterback. That's really all that matters. But that's what I see in him, in his personality, and he's very abrasive.
Oh, they need a fresh face in there. They need a fresh coach. I'm not going to dispute it. But Rodgers needs to change his attitude too. Like this, his prickishness it's rubbing off, man. Like,
and I guarantee you this offseason, there'll be articles about the dysfunction in the Packers with unnamed sources. And that's Aaron Rodgers feeding his side of the story to people in the media he likes. That's a guarantee.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to get ugly. And yeah, and don't worry. McCarthy's going to leak shit too, though, right? Aaron Rodgers misread this. He changed that. He did this.
And Gabe, I'll say this. I honestly, it's so hard to pick on Aaron Rodgers. I feel like I've joked with you before. It's almost like, and I don't even mean this.
I know, but why? Why is it so hard? Like, why is he so untouchable and everyone else isn't?
I don't know, but I will say this. For an elite quarterback of that stature, and you could go down the list of guys who aren't even half as good, whether it be like an Eli or a Phil, and I'm just saying those guys, Tony Romo, guys that have accomplished nothing. Like, I guess Eli's got his rings, yada yada yada. My point being is, I've never seen players leave the Chargers, leave the Giants, leave the Cowboys, and go get belligerently say very mean things about Aaron Rodgers.
They all rip him.
Happened a lot with
a lot of wide receivers too.
Greg Jennings, Greg Jennings doesn't shy away from saying it. a lot of ex-Packer offensive line. Like, so that's like one of the also the weird. You never see that. Like, I never like can recall
He's
that
a
happening.
weird dude. That's what it comes down to. And I don't want to get into his personal life, but look at the situation with the family and stuff.
Yeah, that's
relationships and the way he handles shit is, look like the other day, man, when he did something with the thing about he said donate to the forest fire, the firefighters. His brother tweeted him. It'd be nice if you call your mother that's stuck in the middle of this fire. Fuck, like,
yeah, no, that was you
know what I mean? Like, I remember years ago too, and like I like Aaron Rodgers too. I don't dislike him. You know what I mean? I saw a thing about him once, not on a sports thing, about how he supports like independent rock bands and shit. Like Aaron Rodgers is like a rocker. He likes rock music and hard rock, and he likes rock music and alternative music and whatnot. And he's got like a studio and shit in San Francisco, and he brings in like aspiring bands and shit. He gives them studio time and stuff. Like we don't really know much about Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like you don't really know much about him. Like, what does he do in the offseason? Where is he? Like, you know what I mean? He's sort of a weird dude, and he's got a lot of side things in his life and shit that he doesn't really talk about publicly. He's an interesting guy, but it's just my whole deal with him is just he seems like it's never him. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like every time it's like the wide receiver, he's off. It's like, the Troy Aikman will defend him. Oh, the wide receiver's got to get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers. It's like, or Aaron Rodgers can throw the ball where it's supposed to fucking go. Like, like after the Seattle game, it was like, fire Mike McCarthy. It's like, yeah, fine. Mike McCarthy wasn't the one that one-hopped a fucking pass on third and fucking down on a critical third down to Scantling there, right? Like, dude, there were still shots in that game. There were guys open all over the field, and Aaron Rodgers didn't throw the ball. He kept going for the big home run. You mentioned it yourself. I said it. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' greatness over the years and his highlight signature moments, all right, he beat the Detroit Lions on a fucking Hail Mary one night. The Detroit Lions. He had to come back to the San Francisco 49ers, who have won 2 football games this year.
This year,
yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking away. Like, listen, he's Super Bowl champ. He's great. They won the Super Bowl in 2010, Jeff. We were on the score, bro, in those days. Like, it was a long time ago. Like, the Lingerie Football League was going. You know what I mean? I remember the game. We were in Vegas for it. Like, it's it's a long time ago. Like,
I don't disagree. Like I said, also when I compare him to the other elite quarterbacks, he makes a spectacular play like no other. But third and like 3, those precision little routes that like Breeze and Brady do and Manning did, like to perfection, like blindfolded. He's like Steve Nash. He throws a bounce pass, but you need like a 60-yard. You need to get 60 yards in 12 seconds. No one on the planet better doing that than him.
I'll give him. I'll say that he's like the 4th best quarterback to me, in my opinion.
Like currently, or what of this like modern?
4th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like you got Tom Brady number 1, Drew Brees number 2. Yeah, it's sort of Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, and then I got Rodgers, but. I like Russell Wilson better than Rodgers personally. I'll take Wilson over. Like, I'm dead serious.
Yeah. No, okay.
I'm a coach, and like I'm an expansion. They're like, all right, Morency, we got a choice. We can get one of these 2 guys. You can get Russell Wilson, and you get Aaron Rodgers. Right now, well, this is your new quarterback next year for your new team. I'm taking Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't doubt you for a second, because I also remember we almost had this conversation 2 weeks ago and talking about before that Thursday nighter, where we were both like, I don't know, we're both very pro Wilson and
well, that's the thing. Russell Wilson can make plays that others can't, right? It's not an insult to Rodgers, but like Russell Wilson can extend plays. Like if you put Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers on the Seattle Seahawks, they'd be good, but they wouldn't be legends that they are. You know what I mean? They'd be running for their life. They have average wide receivers.
Yep.
Rodgers would be freaking out on the sideline about his offensive line all the time. Like, he's already bitchy all the time. Imagine like if he was running for his life like Russell Wilson does. But Russell Wilson makes things happen. Right? That's why I like Russell Wilson better.
I'm with you.
And, you know, we'll see. We'll see about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's right there.
Yeah, he's starting to play, looking healthy, and that team can get to the quarterback, and he can make big plays. Sometimes they do have difficulty protecting him, but he was the best big game college player I know that I can ever recall in my life. So nothing would doubt me what he could do in a big game.
All right, so we'll get you out of here. What did a couple NFL picks you like this week? Cowboys, Saints, anything else?
Cowboys. I just want to have it. Oh, here. No, there were a couple games. I was
the Bills, and I'm not kidding. The Bills,
Yeah, I know issue that with the Bills. I also really like Cleveland after the big win for Houston. On Monday there. I know it's
6 points. I'll give you.
I mean, Indy is so due for a loss, but they're getting Jacksonville, who I don't know, man. I mean, they also had some big injuries there. Yeah, I think that's just like if they were playing even like if this was Indy at Cleveland or even Indy at Buffalo, Gabe, I would be like very wary that this is where sort of their hot streak could hit a wall. But this Jacksonville team is like dead to me. And they suffered some horrible O-line injuries, so yeah, I think they're fucked, real fucked. So Indy and who else did I say? Indy and Cleveland. I like a lot. Indy and Cleveland.
Indy and Cleveland. I can live with your Cleveland pick.
Yeah.
Even though I bashed Baker Mayfield all week, now I'm gonna end up with my money on him. I can live with that pick. Although, I don't know, man. Houston are starting to get on another level here. I'd be looking at the over of that game. That's what I'll look at. Should be that's a fun game to watch, actually, between Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson. I like these. The modern quarterbacks are fun. What's the game? So, the Bills sort of catch my eye at the 5.
Yeah, I like the Bills as well. I'll probably have money on them.
I think that total is a little low at 52.5 for the Cowboys and the Saints.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Packers. I'm not sure the Packers should be laying 14 Arizona.
Yeah, I know, but trust me.
I know.
Arizona can get worked.
Well, this flying under the radar this week. The Minnesota at New England.
That's a hard spread for me.
I'm so sick of losing money on the Vikings on the road, bro.
Yeah, I haven't made a decision, but I would probably pick the Patriots, especially if Xavier Rhodes is out. But I don't know. It's not my top play yet.
Xavier Rhodes gets burnt a lot. Fuck. You got Washington, Philadelphia. Well, that's the Monday nighter.
Yeah, big for the division. Eagles got a lot of life, and they still have another game versus the Cowboys. And
they're not even that good. They're going to end up fucking winning the division probably.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys play the Saints, so by the time this game kicks off, it'll be for probably even more than it is right now.
No, it's like you said. We'll get you out of here, but it's like you said about the Charger game, and you're right. There's pretty much, whatever. You don't want to lose every game for the rest of the year, but like you said, they're pretty much locked in to the 5 here. This is the way things are looking right now. And similar situation with the Dallas Cowboys. It's not that tomorrow's game doesn't matter or Thursday's game doesn't matter. But
yeah, they still have the head-to-heads.
They beat the Eagles once, dude, already. They play the Eagles next week. You know what I mean? That's it. They lose this game, and then they beat the Eagles next week. The Eagles are all fucked just because of the tiebreaker thing now. Like they're really behind the 8 ball. So I think the Cowboys would like to win tomorrow, but they know what's really important here, and it's going to come down to that game. Really, it really will next week.
Yeah, I believe it.
I know, but Philadelphia's got to get through Washington first.
I do. I wouldn't even. I mean, I know it's easy to say. There's no real value in the Saints because they're kind of like an inflated number, but I think they do possess a lot of matchup problems for this Cowboys team. Lattimore can take away Cooper. I think they have a lot of just key advantages that I think will make it real difficult for Dallas.
Yeah, somebody, I was George Kurtz today. We were talking about this game, brought up. I mean, it's Sean Payton versus Jason Garrett, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breeze is so hot right now. I wouldn't want to fuck with that, but I don't really love it because I think the number is a little maybe higher. It just I know it's
Dallas.
I know it's an inflated number, but and I do see Dallas having some backdoor potential on the game as well.
Drew Brees, I think where's he from? He's from Austin. Close enough. He's from Austin. New Orleans is right near Dallas too, dude. Like it's gonna be a ton of Saint fans there and shit. All right, always a pleasure, Jeff. Good talking to you tonight.
Gonna be a ton of Cowboy fans there too, though.
Will there? It's like a retreat.
Where is the game? Sorry,
they're the quietest. The quietest 100,000 people in America.
All right, and I saw you tweeting about the new football league game.
Oh yeah. Like I'll bet on it, but I don't.
Yeah, it'll be dead. It'll be dead in 18 months. I hear you.
Yeah, will they play a game? I'm not sure.
Good point. All right, later, Gabe.
Good stuff. Thanks, man. Jeff Feinberg, great hit with Feinberg there. Fun talking football there with Feinberg. We got a quarterback battle going on here right now. Russell Wilson's better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton is Cam Newton's a great athlete, and Cam Newton does a lot of the things. Like Cam Newton plays behind an average offensive line. He's dealt with average wide receivers. He can extend plays for you. The thing is Russell Wilson's more clutch than Cam Newton. And I'm a Cam Newton fan. Like, and I've seen almost every one of Cam Newton's games his life almost. Like, Cam Newton, you know, he's not great in the last 2 minutes. Like, there's more failure than success with Cam in these late sort of moments in games. Now, he's an elite quarterback, right? But, you know, Russell Wilson's more elite. Russell Wilson, like, makes better decisions. Russell Wilson's mentally tougher than Cam Newton. Cam Newton gets frustrated, and you know what I mean? Like, he lets, like, his emotion get to him sometimes. Now, Russell Wilson's not perfect. You know, Russell Wilson was pissing the Seahawks off earlier this year. Like, they basically thought, like, he cost them 2 games, essentially. Like even Pete Carroll loves him and never says anything bad about him. But even Pete Carroll fucking got mad and pulled him aside and said, listen, like, you got to trust your teammates a bit here. You know what I mean? Like, stop. You can't always – because Wilson was just trying to make things happen all the time. And, you know, Carroll said, you know, you got to, like, let it go. He said, even if we lose. Like, basically, Carroll's a good coach. He said, Russ, you're going to have to, like – he said, just let the play come. Like, don't fucking play hero so much. And it just sort of comes more naturally now. If you remember earlier this year, too, Russell Wilson and Carroll got into it on the sidelines. Remember Russell Wilson, like, refused to do the plays twice? And he started yelling at the OC. Like, there was tension there. But it was healthy tension, right? Like, look where they are now. They fought through it, right? Look, I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. You know, and I'm not saying I'm his biggest, like, fan, like, personally and stuff. He's a good kid, but I think, though, but like I said, from a quarterback perspective, I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. He was good in college. He's been good in the NFL. He's good. He's fucking real good. Yeah, and Cam Newton's good. Cam Newton, I'm not criticizing. Yes, Andrew Luck Andrew Luck is better than Cam Newton. And you know what? Andrew Luck's reminding people that Luck is in that Luck could be in that category with like Breeze and shit. Like Andrew Luck, if healthy, he's a top 3 quarterback. Like he's right there with the best quarterback in the league. You look at what Andrew Luck means to the Colts guys. It's not like the Colts are a loaded stacked team. Andrew Luck's healthy, and the Colts are 6-5 and in the playoff mix. It's not rocket science. It's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. Andrew Luck has thrown for 300 yards and like fucking this many touchdowns, like 8 weeks in a row, or whatever. Like it's next level stuff with this guy. He's a great quarterback. He's very Aaron Rodgers-ish. You know what I mean? Luck just drops back and throws these perfect passes all the time where you're like, what are you going to do? Like, this guy's a great quarterback. Listen, I'll tell you guys right now, I'm a big Andrew Luck fan. Like Andrew Luck could be on my team any day. Like Andrew Luck's a great quarterback. Only thing with Andrew Luck has been the health. That's his only weakness. Like, really, there are not a lot of guys better than Andrew Luck. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, then you got Andrew Luck. Like, Luck's right there, Hey, listen, you can make an argument Deshaun Watson's one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, too. Or Pat Mahomes. Jared Goff. Yeah, I got Jared Goff, though. I don't, Mahomes, the jury's still out. You can't judge Mahomes yet. Yeah, he had a great year this year. You know what? Carson Wentz had a great year last year, too. How's Carson Wentz look now? I remember people in Philly were talking about, I remember the tweets. How many MVPs is Wentz going to win? 3, 4? I remember it was like Carson Wentz is the revolutionary best quarterback ever type thing. Like he's coming back from injury, Carson Wentz. But I'm just saying that people are too quick to judge these players. People are too quick to judge that Jared Goff sucked. People are too quick to anoint people as the greatest ever. That's what I'm saying with Baker Mayfield. People need to slow down. It's like, yeah, he's really good, Baker Mayfield, but he started 4 games. You know what I mean? 3 games, whatever. RG3 killed it in his rookie season. Shit changes in a hurry, man. Colin Kaepernick was in the Super Bowl and the NFC Conference Championship game 5 years ago. Like you can have, like look at Vince Young. Vince Young wasn't bad in the NFL. Like there's a perception that Vince Young was this massive bust, but Vince Young went 10-6 as a rookie. Right? The guy went to the playoffs. Like Vince Young was in the playoffs, I think twice. Like you know what I mean? He wasn't. The only thing is he wasn't like a mega star, and he was very Mariota-ish, to be honest. And his problem is he had depression issues, right? So, he was sort of seen as like a liability. But like the thing with Vince Young, like people sort of think, oh, Vince Young in the NFL. Yeah. Vince Young in the NFL. He went 10-6 and went to the playoffs as a fucking rookie. Like like I said, off the top of my head, he was in the playoffs twice. Like he was good. You know what I mean? I remember as a bettor a couple of times. I remember I lost. I was like, fucking Vince Young. was like, what do I bet against Vince Young? Like, he made this play. I was like, fuck. I know he's good. Like I said, to me, Vince Young is one of the best college quarterbacks in the history of the game. And he really is. Like, Vince Young is one of the best college players ever. Like, there's very few quarterbacks that were as just unstoppable in college as Vince Young was. Like, the guy was like Michael Jordan. It was next level stuff, man. Like, it's not like Texas. Texas haven't won since. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like Texas won before. Like, Texas won because of Vince Young. Like, people should be nicer to Vince Young and celebrate his accomplishments more than they do. It's like, no, the guy didn't win a Super Bowl. Like, so what? How many people have won a national championship and a Super Bowl as a quarterback? That's why you got to give credit to Cam Newton. Like, it's not easy. Cam Newton won a national championship with Auburn and went to an effing Super Bowl. That's like, name me guys that have done that. We're going to need some points in this basketball game. I got the over in this Duke game. Maybe we can backdoor it, too. Nice shot. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league now, though. You know, there's a lot of good quarterbacks. Yeah, let's go, Whack Prescott. Let's backdoor this. Yeah, Garoppolo was overhyped. Yeah, Nick Mullins, exactly. It's like Lamar Jackson's the latest one now. Like, it's funny. Nobody liked Lamar Jackson at all. And now, you know, he plays 2 good games. Now everyone acts like they liked him. I liked him out of college. I said that, you know, he's good. I didn't have a problem with the Bills taking Lamar Jackson. And because I knew that Lamar Jackson could run, right? In the modern NFL, you need a guy that can take off. You got to understand in the NFL now, it's a new league. And that's a new league, but it really is in the sense that offensive lines aren't very good anymore. Offensive lines aren't very good. I've mentioned Dave Malinsky a few times today for some reason, but me and Dave used to talk about this a lot. And he talked about, I remember he wrote a good article about it, about how basically offensive line in college, they're not that good anymore. There's not a lot of good offensive linemen. That's why linemen go high in the draft if they're good. So there's not a good lineman. And there's so many good athletes now on the defensive lines. These dudes are so fast and shit that you don't have the time that you used to. Like offensive linemen aren't even expected to block like they're used to. Like it's like one block. They come off the edge. If you can bump the guy, you won, basically. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to now. So quarterbacks just don't have the time. So it's like you always hear that. Like anytime the Giants are on and fucking Witten, the fucking idiot there, and these other guys, they're always, Jason, I don't know, Jason Witten must be buddies with Eli Manning because I think the Giants been on twice. And both times he's the same thing. He's like, well, it's not his fault. The pocket collapsed. It's like, dude, the pocket collapses on every freaking play in the NFL now. Like, that's the reality of the league. There is no pocket anymore. The pocket collapses. You got a bunch of 6'6" dudes that can run 4.4 coming from the edges at you. Like, you've got 2 seconds, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the Saints, and you look at the Patriots. Like, it's amazing teams don't figure this shit out, man. Like, that's the Vikings problem. Like, you look at the Vikings, everything's so slow. Kirk Cousins gets to the line, and he looks around, and he's cold. He's looking around. It's slow, and he does his little fucking things, and then he drops back, and the pocket collapses. It's like, you know what I mean? It doesn't work, fucking. Like it's too deliberate. Teams that are like deliberate like this, it doesn't work. Like you look at the New Orleans Saints, and the reason they're so difficult is because Breeze throws the ball right away. It's like you can't get to him. He's in the shotgun. They snap the ball. He drops back, and he fucking zings it. They have their routes so precise that he throws it before the receivers are there. Right? Like that's what it is when you're good, when you're that good, right? So you'll see Breeze drops back and he'll just zing it. Bam. Michael Thomas will run into the ball. You know what I mean? Like Kirk Cousins needs to drop back, look around. Okay, he's open. And then they throw it. You don't have that time. So basically you'll see like Kirk Cousins will look good every couple of games because whatever, like if the other team doesn't have a good pass rush and he got a little bit of time. So he threw the ball, but you need to get rid of the ball quickly. Like, that's been the Patriots' success. Like, Tom Brady's good, but, like, Tom Brady's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is way better at quarterback than Tom Brady is, you know what I mean, athletically, and throws a better football. And Tom Brady doesn't have a good deep ball. Tom Brady isn't mobile. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Brady's success is predicated on the quick release, right? He's part of a system. Brady's actually a system quarterback. Like, if you put Brady – like, Tom Brady's great, but Tom Brady wouldn't have been great on other teams. Tom Brady was a Buffalo Bill. Tom Brady's not a Hall of Famer right now. Tom Brady's probably retired. Tom Brady doesn't transcend where, he's going to make any team better. I don't believe that. I think Tom Brady was the perfect quarterback in a perfect system, and Belichick's smarter than everybody and realizes that, hey, if you get rid of the ball in fucking 1 second, you know what I mean, you're going to be more successful than having your quarterback drop back and trying to get guys open all the time. Like the Patriots offense is built on quick slants. That's all it is. Brady drops back, bam, bam, bam. Welker, Edelman, whoever the white slot guy is, bam, bam, bam. Right? Like that's everything. Everything is just the system that he's in. If you took Tom Brady and you just sort of dropped him in a uniform and like you're on the Arizona Cardinals now, Tom, good luck with that. Tom Brady will look like Josh Rosen. He'll be running for his life. He'll be throwing interceptions. His fucking helmet will be all crooked because he's getting killed and shit. Right? Tom Brady and Belichick, like it's like Reese's peanut butter cups. They need each other. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like a good example is the Patriots won fucking 11 games with Matt Castle. Right? So they didn't win 14 games. They won 11 games. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a capable quarterback in that system in New England, like they could have won with Jimmy Garoppolo. If like basically if you just do what Belichick tells you to do, you'll do good. Like Belichick's that good. Like their play calling and their schemes. Belichick understands what other teams can't stop. Right? Like I said, everything with the Patriots, like how many bombs has Brady hit? In fact, every time in a Super Bowl, every time there's been a big deep play, it never works out well for them. It either gets intercepted or he underthrows it or Edelman dropped it. You know what I mean? Everything's quick hit. Bam, 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 bam. That's the Patriots game. Bam, quick hit, quick hit, quick hit. And the Saints are the same way. The Saints are the same way, but it's even harder to stop because they're able to throw it deep fast, which I'm still like, watch them on Thursday. We'll be watching the game together. Like, it'll be very fascinating to watch. It's crazy. Like, you see Breeze, he drops back and he throws it up there, but he throws it like 23 yards in the air. And it's just so fast. Like, teams don't have time to react to it. Like, the guys on the D-line are basically still getting out of their stance and going at him, and the ball's already in the air. Like his precision and the timing, like people don't realize how good the timing is of Drew Brees and those guys. It's crazy. And he's doing it with these new wide receivers that are nobodies too. It's kind of weird. Like the Saints are loaded, but they're really not at the wide receiver position. They have Michael Thomas and who? Brandon Marshall. You know what I mean? Like they've lost everybody. Everybody got hurt. They're just so good, it doesn't matter. I think the Saints are winning the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's been like 2 minutes in this basketball game and nothing's happening. Like they're reviewing something. There's no points. I don't know. Well, Denver absolutely murdered the Lakers. Great job. Another great performance by the greatest of all time. LeBron tonight, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Great job. Players that outscored LeBron tonight: Kuzma, Millsap, Murray, Beasley. Like I said, like listen, I know it's not LeBron's fault, whenever the Lakers lose. But I'm just stating, for a guy that is the greatest of all time, like he seems to lose a lot and get blown out a lot and quit a lot, you know? Why would the Lakers trade Randall? That's the baffling thing I don't understand about LeBron. It's like he does this deliberately. Like it's a pattern though. I don't know why. It's like, he doesn't want good young players on his team. It's like he likes the excuse, well, this team sucks. And if he wins, he gets the credit. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like if you're LeBron, you go to LA, wouldn't you be like, you know what? Fuck, this is pretty cool. Fuck, we got Randall and we got Ingram. These guys are really good. Fuck, now let's just get a couple other guys in here. We'll be fucking good. No, LeBron goes in there and it's like, let's get rid of everyone. Let's get rid of our best player, Randall. It's like, well, you know what, LeBron? The kid gets 14 rebounds a night and like 19 points, and he shows up every fucking night. He's the only guy on our team that tries. It's like, well, let's get rid of him. It's like, all right. Now we get out-rebounded on the boards every fucking night. Good for you. It's like, you know what I mean? Like LeBron plays GM and shit, and he never gets there's no accountability for it. And then after, it's always like, oh, but look at the team that he has. Yeah, you think that the Lakers, LeBron, did they want to bring Tyson Chandler in, or was that LeBron? Did they want to bring Rondo in? Was that LeBron? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me this crap, but look, he has no control over the team, as if. Oh, it's like in Cleveland. Oh, he doesn't have anyone to play with in Cleveland. The guy's been running the team for the last 6 years. Like, he's the one that makes all these deals. He's the one that told him, you got to keep Tristan Thompson. He's the one that told him, get J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert. He's the one that told him, I don't want to play with Andrew Wiggins. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're the one, he's the one that makes all these decisions. And then after everyone, his defenders, well, look at the team that he plays with. And secondly, okay, let's look at it from another angle. Dude, the LA Lakers had money this year. LeBron James signed with the Lakers and they had money. Nobody went there. Paul George is like, thanks, but no. This big fat fantasy about Kawhi Leonard being a Laker and shit. Kawhi Leonard put that fire out. When the Raptors were in LA, he said, I don't even like the Lakers. He said, I don't know where all this come from. He goes, I'm actually a Philadelphia 76er fan. I'm a big Iverson fan. And he said, I grew up never liking the Lakers. Kawhi knew what he was saying. Like, he knew his words. He was basically telling him, I don't know where you guys got this, that I'm coming here, but are you kidding me? Kawhi Leonard, like, people think Kawhi Leonard's going to the fucking Lakers. Kawhi Leonard doesn't even like publicity. Like, why would he go to the biggest publicity city in the fucking league? Like, this, it's funny. Kawhi Leonard's going to be a Raptor next year. Thank you, predictions guy. Good to see you, bro. John Heineman. What's up, John Heineman? See you later, predictions guy. Thanks for tuning in. That's the thing. Like, I would tease the Saints to the over. I think it's a higher scoring game too. I think it goes over to 52.5. We'll have a lot of props for that game. I plan on playing some props for that one. What's up, Smooth? Yeah, we'll be with you guys till about midnight tonight. I think I started at 10:05. I'll go to 12:05. All right, we're up to 141 right now with 4.5 minutes left. We need 20 points, so it's not going to get there. We are getting 15. We've cut the lead to 21. A couple of threes, we might be able to backdoor this. I don't know what the Raptors will do, Profits. I follow them, but I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not in the ins and outs of their daily operation now. I don't know. The Raptors don't really need to do much, to be honest. Masai Ujiri has been pretty good at tweaking things. I wouldn't want to mess with the chemistry too much of this team, so I don't see the Raptors doing anything major before this year's done. Like I said, I think the Raptors' future is very bright in the sense that the problem with Norm Powell is he makes too much money for what he does, right? He's been a disappointment. I had higher expectations for Norm Powell. You know, he's one of these guys that's talented, but I don't think that he's not serious enough. He's one player I know a little bit about behind the scenes too, actually. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a nice kid and shit, but I think he's one of these kids that's just sort of like, he's from UCLA. And, you know, he's just sort of laid back and he's happy. You know what I mean? He's into chicks and shit, and he goes out. Like, he's not a waste case, but he goes out a lot in Toronto. He's known, like, on the scene type shit. he goes out, you know what I mean? And he's into, you know, sort of the club scene and shit. And he's a good guy and stuff. He's not like, no one ever's like, oh, he's really a bad guy and he's whatever. But people close to him, I know a couple of people told me, they're like, dude, if the guy got serious and shit and was like sort of like DeMar DeRozan's at it. Like DeMar DeRozan wakes up at 6 a.m. and like starts shooting the ball and shit. You know what I mean? You know, they were like, if Norm was like serious and dedicated, he'd be a very good NBA player. But this is why he's on the bench, you know, because he doesn't have that sort of next level of energy. I think the Raptors moving forward, though. I think the Raptors moving forward. I think Kawhi Leonard will stay in Toronto. And I think if the Raptors go to the finals and stuff, you'll see, I think they'll add another star player next year type shit. Like, I think they're close. Like, the Raptors are close, guys. Like, they're really close. Like, if the Warriors could implode, the Raptors could win the title type thing. You know, but I think they could do it now. I know I'm almost looking next year. You re-sign Kawhi Leonard. There's all this love around the Raptors, and you get one more guy that's like goes, you know what? I'm going to go there. Fuck. You know, like I'm going to sign a 2-year deal with Toronto. Like you said, people like Toronto. Like players in the league like the city. Toronto is a very cool city if you're an NBA player. It's laid back. The fans are very cool. The club scene is good. There's a lot of black chicks in Toronto too. Like there's a lot of multicultural shit at the clubs and shit. Like LeBron James fucking even said that Toronto's his favorite city. Like all the NBA players always go to the Caravana Festival in Toronto in the summertime. Like LeBron was there this summer. Like big time players go. Kevin Durant, LeBron, and shit. Like Kevin Durant's another one, man. Like I'm not saying Kevin Durant goes to the Raptors, but I wouldn't automatically just discount it. Like Kevin Durant's a weird dude. You know, he's like I said, Kevin Durant was a Raptor fan. Kevin Durant loves Toronto. Like there's things out there, right? But the Raptors need to get to the finals to really legitimize themselves. No, I wouldn't. Anthony Davis, no. Anthony Davis, no. Anthony Davis won't go to the Raptors. I would expect Anthony Davis can end up on the Lakers. I think Anthony Davis will end up. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to the Lakers. I think that might be the guy they get in the end. Siakam's a stud. Listen, the new coach loves JV, but Ibaka's better, right? Ibaka's just more consistent. Like Ibaka plays defense. Ibaka can block shots and shit. Like JV's probably the worst defender on the Raptors. Like the Raptors are like a defensive, like these guys are like, they might be like one of the best defensive teams ever type shit. Like it's over the top. Like teams don't like playing them. Like even Ben Simmons, who's an aloof kid and never says anything about anything, even he said after, he goes, that was like not fun. He basically just said they're in your face all the time. Like there's no lane to pass in because they're in your face. And like the Raptors play like a college team defense. Like it's like they're like it's like a full court press of constant arms waving and big bodies and Kawhi Leonard's big hand and shit. Like Ibaka had personal problems last year. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Raptors, fuck, we need a few points here. There's 2 minutes left. We're at 153 right now. I think we're going to fall just short. Yeah, we can't get too ahead of ourselves, guys. The Raptors, you know, they got to prove it. Like, they got to win in the playoffs. Another thing, too, is Kawhi Leonard, you know, he's got to stay healthy. The Raptors are still good without Kawhi Leonard now. They'd still be really good, but Kawhi Leonard's the one that puts them over the top. I don't think Durant to the Knicks isn't impossible. I don't see it. I don't think it happens, but not impossible. Shit, the kid on Indiana misses the free throw. He missed both free throws. Oh, we're done. Tomorrow night, you got North Carolina and Michigan. That's going to be good. Crazy thing is, these kids keep going to the free throw line, but they keep missing both teams. It's fucking annoying. Just can't. They should be at about 157, 158 right now. Another thing is, too, we bet a bad number. The game opened up at like 158 and a half, or what was it, 160? Like, I got it at 161 and a half or something. I'm screwed. I expected a little more from Indiana. Kid on Duke misses the free throw. That's why I fucking hate college basketball. I like the game, but it annoys me. Like, we've missed 4 free throws in a row. I mean, I got money on it over. 4 free throws in a row. It's like, kid. Like, I'm sure you could dunk it. Fuck. Like, if you can dunk it, how about you hit a free throw? Just shoot a 3, guys. Stop like with your deliberate shit. Just shoot, 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 shoot. Take the shot, kid. Horrible shot. Kid on Indiana shoots a horrible fucking shot from right inside the 3-point line. Like, really? Kid on Duke takes a 3. It's a fucking brick. Shoot. You're wide open. Fuck, these bench players suck. All right, here's a 3. Nice shot, kid. We're up to 156. These free throws are the ones that killed us. We're so close. We're so close. Like honestly, if these kids would have hit the free throws, like we win this. I'm not, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to start snapping and shit, but it's frustrating. We're about to lose by 3 or 4 points, and we just watched these kids miss 4 free throws in a row. All right, the kid's going to the line right now. If he hits them both, if he hits both free throws and Indiana hits a 3, we can get there. We need 5 points in 29 seconds. And he fucking throws a brick. Not even close. Oh, oh God. We lose because of the fucking free throws. Well, you got your 159 push, Paulo. Yeah, we had a bad number. We did bet a bad number. The sharp people jumped on this in the morning. It's funny too because I'm so accurate with this shit. I didn't know what the total was, and I asked Cam on the air. I said, "What's the total of this game?" I said 158. That was the number I had in my head. And look, they got to 159. And I think it ended up closing at 161 and a half. Listen, I understand kids are going to miss free throws, but it's a little much, man. Like anyone that would just watch that at the end. Like literally, they were like seriously like 2 for 6 in the last minute. It was just brick, 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 hit one, brick, 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 hit one, brick, brick, brick. It's like you hit 2 more free throws, we wouldn't have bet. And we had the opportunities. We just watched it. Like that's why it's frustrating. Like we just watched it. It was literally 8 free throws, and they hit 2 of them. It was both teams too. You sort of expect Duke. You expect Duke. You expect Duke to hit the free throws. You know what I mean? Like even like some bench kid, like some kid off the bench for Duke, you expect them to hit the free throws. I said this today too, and it's true. I got to heed what I say. Is that I feel you, Bull. That's been happening to me, bro, for the last 2 weeks, Bull. My picks have been okay, but I can't get on track because I just, like you said, I keep losing by like a half a point here, a bucket there. It's like, it's constant. But I was going to say, college basketball, you're better off betting the smaller schools. Like no, I'm not saying that. Like the side, look, if you took Duke tonight, it was a good bet, right? Obviously. But I'm just stating that the numbers for Duke total are so sharp. You know, they're so sharp. Like the Duke number is sharper than the fucking Murray State number is, just because there's so much action on this Duke game. It's an ESPN game. It's Duke. Like they know they're getting a lot of action on it. They got to make sure that their algorithm is right. Some of these other games, they don't really care. Like, they let the computer spit out the number and they ride it, you know? It's the same thing as like it's the same thing as like Monday Night Football, right? Like the props are sharper on the Sunday night game than the Sunday afternoon games. The Sunday afternoon games are spread out. They know they're not going to get crushed on a million props. A Sunday night game, they know there's no other game going on, and people are going to bet the props, and you know what I mean? So we better make sure we get them right. Like you'll notice on Sunday, the long field goal over prop will be lower. 43 and a half, 44 and a half. You'll notice on primetime games, it's never 44 and a half anymore. It's always 45 and a half now. Like it's never 43 and a half. Like remember in the past years, it used to be, what's it going to be? 43 and a half or 44 and a half. And I used to be like 45 and a half. Come on. Now it's common, 45 and a half. They do it in primetime games because they take more action on a long field goal prop and along on that. So they're like, we're going to add a yard to it. And the yard makes a big difference. It's a good point by Wesley. You're right. Smart gambling. If you think the game's going to be a blow and it's a higher scoring game, you're right, because weird shit happens. You got a lot of bench guys out here. Garbage time, right? Garbage time is frustrating in basketball, isn't it? But let's be real, guys. We can say, oh, you bet the first half, and then you bet the first half to more of a game. You could be back here tomorrow. I got screwed. I got screwed. I lost this. I lost that. Hey, it is what it is. We got a big week of football. I thought we didn't really talk much football. I was planning on talking some college football tonight. I guess tomorrow night we'll jump in on it. But Banner will be with us tomorrow night. And we'll have the announcement tomorrow night too. So for the record, the playoff standing came out tonight. Yeah, we're slipped a little bit in the last 2 weeks, Paco. 3-3-1, 3-4. I will say, though, Duke should win the national championship, though. All right. Jimmy the Bag in the house. What's up, Jimmy? Yeah, I'm old school, Jimmy. I'm the term. We appreciate the kind words, but I'm old school. I'm from the GOAT is like Bill Buckner's the GOAT. All right, so we're wrapping it up in a couple of minutes here, but I just wanted to throw it out there that the college football poll came out, the rankings came out tonight, and basically right now, as it is, Oklahoma's in the driver's seat. So the debate about Oklahoma and Ohio State was pretty much decided tonight with these rankings, as Oklahoma is ranked ahead of Ohio State. And they both play this weekend. But the thing is, Oklahoma play against Texas, who Texas are ranked way higher. All right, Texas are ranked way higher than Northwestern are. So basically, they're not going to be able to, they can't make it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's less impressive beating Northwestern than Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's already ahead of them. And Oklahoma have a tougher game this week. Right? So they're screwed. Texas come in at number 14. You know, Northwestern's at 21. You know, that's quite a difference, actually. That's just 17 spot difference here. So I just don't see it happening. Now, nothing's impossible yet. I think that the fact that they got smoked by Purdue by 29 points is the problem. If they would have lost to Purdue close, they'd get in. But they got smoked by Purdue. Oklahoma lost a close game to Texas. Oklahoma's going to have an opportunity. It'll be more glamorous and a bigger win to beat Texas than beating Northwestern for Ohio State. And don't forget, Ohio State have some stuff going on this year. And, you know, if it comes down to two teams, let's just be real. It comes down to two teams, and they both have one loss, and they're kind of even. And one of them doesn't have a coach that was beat up, and one of them doesn't have a head coach that was fucking covering shit up and might step down at the end of the year because the hammer's going to come. Like, you know, I think it's a safer play to put Oklahoma in than Ohio State. The NCAA, they don't want to deal with this shit. That Brit fucking Henry guy running around like till now until the game, digging up more stuff. It's just, they can move on and not have any negativity around their playoff. Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, and Notre Dame. 4 classic fucking college programs. TV ratings will be through the roof. You know, Ohio State's going to be on the outside looking in. Now, listen, we can talk all night about how Oklahoma doesn't play defense and all that, but you know, basically, what's up, Jesse? I'm going to come to Vancouver, Jesse, I'm going to come to Vancouver over the holidays. We'll hook up for a drink. Now, you have that whole Georgia thing where Georgia beats Alabama and they're in, right? If Georgia beats Alabama, then both Oklahoma and Ohio State are out. If Georgia wins, Georgia's in, Alabama's in, Clemson's in, and Notre Dame's in. This thing's pretty simple. It's the way it's playing out right now. Oklahoma wins, they're in. With Alabama winning. Georgia beats Alabama. Alabama's still getting in. So, you know, it'll be Georgia, Alabama, fucking Clemson, Notre Dame. But Georgia's not going to beat Alabama. Yeah, Georgia's not going to beat Alabama. I don't even think they'll cover. Alabama, all you need to know about Alabama, when Alabama takes on Georgia in the SEC title game, they're looking to set an NCAA record of 13 consecutive wins in the same season of 20 or more points. Yale won its first 12 games of 20-plus points in 1988. They're doing something that hasn't been done since 1988. Yale, unbelievable. Well, you know, 1988, Yale went 13-0 and outscored their opponents 694 to nothing. It's a little different. I'm assuming they covered the spreads. Yale won its first 12 games by 20-plus points in 1888. I think I said 1888. It's hard to even say that. 1888. Yale won its first 12 games by 20-plus points in 1888 before winning their last game of the year 10-0. I said earlier in the year, this is the best Alabama team ever. Well, I don't know about that. It's like, well, they're not only the best Alabama team ever, they're the best college football team ever. Here's a little tidbit here, too. This is courtesy of Mark Lawrence's database. When Oklahoma takes on Texas in the Big 12 championship game at Jerry's World this Saturday, the Sooners take the field with revenge, which is not necessarily good news for Oklahoma. Oklahoma are just 6-7-1 straight up and 3-10-1 against the spread when seeking revenge in this series since 1990. Including 3-5-1 straight up and 0-8-1 against the spread if Oklahoma is not undefeated. That's the whole thing. We're talking about Oklahoma winning, but Texas ain't just going to roll over here. And Texas can play with Oklahoma. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a fun game. You know what? I could live with taking Texas plus the points. Texas are playing with house money. You know what I mean? Texas win. They're not going to the playoffs, so they don't have to worry about the overall stress. They can just come out here trying to win the Big 12, which would be big for them. They haven't won a Big 12 championship in a long time. $8 points right now. Hard not to take Tom Herman. Tom Herman is an underdog. We know about his prowess as an underdog. Tom Herman's getting 8 points. Total is 78. We'll jump into the football tomorrow night. Northern Illinois and Buffalo on Thursday. Or Friday, excuse me. I think it's Friday afternoon or Friday evening, whatever. Utah, Washington. Those are the championship games. Got Northern Illinois and Buffalo. That's in Detroit usually. Buffalo are 3.5-point favorites. Totals 49.5. I lean with Buffalo. Buffalo are the better team, but teams from Buffalo have a tendency of losing big games. Texas, Oklahoma, got to lean with the Longhorns. Getting 8 here, 78 in a track meet. Whoever has the ball last type game. Georgia, Alabama, SEC in Atlanta. Alabama, 13-point favorite. So it feels a little low for a team that's won every game by 20 or more. Total 63.5. Oh, we got Fresno and Boise. These guys always play good games. They're playing at Boise again. Fresno just can't buy a break. It's always in Boise, this stupid game. Boise probably beat him again. Northwestern and Ohio State. This one's interesting because, you know, Ohio State need to run the score up, right? Like that, Ohio State are going to go in there thinking we can't just win. Like we really need to win. Like we need to beat these guys 56-7 or something. Like they need to give the committee something to think about, right? So I'll be careful taking Northwestern there. You got Pittsburgh and Clemson. Our boys, Pittsburgh, we told you, over 5.5, and they're playing the ACC Conference Championship game. They're getting 27.5 points against Clemson. I don't know. It's hard to get in front of Clemson, man. These guys are like, people are down on Clemson for some reason, but I don't know. All they've done is kick the shit out of everybody. They had a few boring weeks where they didn't care, but Clemson have dialed it up a notch. Like, let's be real. Clemson's the only team over the last couple of years that can play with Alabama. You know, Georgia had, Georgia showed, we'll see if Georgia can do it consistently, but Clemson aren't intimidated by Alabama. Like, they're the one team that takes the field thinking, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? We're not, we can beat these guys. We beat them. It seems like Clemson and Alabama are on a collision course. Like, Alabama will beat Ohio State or Oklahoma in the 1-4 matchup. And then Clemson's going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame will hang around with Clemson, I think, a bit. But ultimately, Clemson will beat them down. And we're going to have a three-peat. It's going to be the same shit. It's like, that's the world of sports we live in now. It's the same teams all the time. The Dodgers in the World Series 2 years in a row. Same NBA Finals 3 years in a row. Pittsburgh Penguins are in a cup every year. It's the same crap. All right, we're out of here. See you. Good to see you, Jesse. We'll stay in touch. Just see me on Twitter. I'm leaning with Buffalo, Ken. Good to see you, Ken. I'm leaning with Buffalo. All right, I got to get out of here. We appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Nice clear night in the city, as you can see behind me. Empire State Building and what, purple. Thanks, Pushy. Yeah, if you're going to be in Vancouver, let's hook up for sure, Jimmy. Let's hook up for sure. I look forward to going to Vancouver, actually. I'm going to see my mother's husband, and my mother, unfortunately, is not there. But I look forward to spending a couple of days in Vancouver. I might spend a week. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, depending on my schedule. But hey, listen, I haven't figured it out yet, Jimmy. It'll be in between, but I'll tell you, in between Christmas and New Year's, essentially. In between Christmas and New Year's. All right. We got to get out at 9 a.m. Check out the videos. Check out Jimmy the Bag and Low Shack and the crew tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 9 a.m. throwing it down. Joe Lisi will be with us talking college football. And we got more, too. So Joe Lisi and more. We appreciate that, Chris Medina. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, man. Stay safe. May the winners be yours. Hit us with a thumbs up on the way out. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.